The following is a Comfortably Zoned Radio Network production.
Thank you, Tally Olson. We are back. Lenny Randle's Hot Corner. I've got Lenny on the line from Dunkin' Donuts. What do you hear? What do you say, Lenny Randle?
Well, I got some donut eaters with me, too, so we came for the fun of Dunkin'. We went to go East Coast style. They just opened up some franchises. About 20,000 new franchises will open up. So, guys, we're going to do the show outside.
You mean to tell me you're specializing in nourishment for these kids at your academy? Is that it?
You know, it worked for Babe Ruth. I think he had a donut and coffee and hit home run, so.
Hey, it worked for Joe DiMaggio. He was reputed to have had like 5-6 cups of the strongest cappuccino coffee made in the world before and after every game. So, stuff, unconventional intake of food has always worked.
Yeah.
What was your diet when you played?
I had a balanced breakfast, like bacon and eggs, toast, waffles. I had a regular breakfast because I was raised around military family, so every time I did a breakfast, it was a balanced breakfast all the time. Every morning.
Okay.
I ate to live, not just to eat.
Is the discipline that you receive from your family directly responsible for the success you've had in life?
Nutrition is the key, like a car. You can't run on, water? You got to have gas. You got to have fuel. So a human body has to have nutrition to get through all day. And a lot of these kids have bad diets. So when I look at some of the lives that they have today, I say to them, you got to, bellissimo giornata oggi, per piacere, grazie. What I say to them, guys, come on out, we're going to do the live show. What I say to them is they got to get up and feed themselves. Because I always ask them, did you make your own breakfast? Cereal, toast, bananas, yogurt, something. And if they did that, they should rely on their parents to eat. Now, I have 5 guys with me. I have Ryder, actually 4. And I'm going to ask him today, live Ralph, because we need to know if they had breakfast. Because if you don't have gas, you can't leave the car. You can't leave the house with the car. If you don't have food, your day is miserable by noon. So I have my first guest. He's 10 years old. His name is Ryder. The Ryder, what's your last name?
Nelly.
Now, Ryder's dad is a doctor, and I need to let Ryder let you know. The Ryder's he has the Hulk Hogan look at 10.
All right.
Go ahead, Ralph.
He's well built, in other words.
Now, did you have breakfast this morning, Ralph?
I had a smoothie.
He had a smoothie. Ralph, we didn't grow up with smoothies.
No.
Is that considered a breakfast? It has tomato food, but do you feel full or you feel like you need to eat more food?
I haven't eaten anything.
He hasn't eaten anything, so he's definitely got to have these donuts.
Right. Let me tell you, do you play better when you eat a good breakfast, Ryan?
I don't know. I usually don't eat breakfast anyways, and I do the same when I do eat breakfast.
From now on, Ralph, he'll be eating breakfast with his brother in the morning. I will make sure they get waffles and toast and eggs and bacon, and they'll cook it themselves. And if they don't, I'm going to give them a wedgie and cut off their baby toe.
They don't need the baby toe. That's not going to scare them much. And they know it.
Yeah, I'll just nibble in it with some scissors. I won't actually cut it off. I'll just let it hang.
All right. Well, that's big of you,
now,
Lenny. You're magnanimous
big brother
along
now.
those lines.
You're
magnanimous along those lines, Lenny. The kids, on behalf of children all over the world, we thank you.
Thank you. God is good.
Yeah.
Now, I have his brother with me. Now, this is a big brother, and his brother's name is, and Maverick is about 15 going on 20. No, I'm kidding. How old are you, Maverick? He's 13, but he looks like 20. He's got a beard. He's 13. And the big brother should be making the little brother breakfast, but I'm going to ask him, did he do that today. How has he ever done that? Have you ever cooked your brother waffles, Eggos, drop it in a toaster? One time in his life when he's 13, okay?
Okay, he beats me. I haven't ever fixed a breakfast for anybody, little even myself. So,
well, when I got up, Ralph, there's 6 of us in the house every day, 8 of us. You know, my mom and dad didn't go to work early that morning. The 6 of us would fix breakfast. I didn't get up and fix for myself. I would get up and fix grits, eggs, and toast. 6 eggs, 6 pieces of toast. It was automatic. 6 waffles, and it was like 6 bowls of cereal. So there was no excuse for them not to eat. The bowls would set out, the plates would set out, everything. All they do is get up out of the bed and go eat. So I wasn't a selfish chef. At 7, I started cooking. The worst thing I ever cooked was a tuna sandwich. I put too much mayonnaise in it.
Well, my mother would not have anybody in the kitchen, and she said, whatever you cook, if you really want to cook, you're going to have to eat it. And I cooked I tried to boil an egg, and I didn't give it enough time, and it came out a runny, horrible mess. And she made me eat the egg, and it encouraged me never to go back in her kitchen again, or anybody else's for a lifetime. But by the same token, if you're not self-reliant and you can't take care of yourself, you're going to have problems in life. Just you better know how to cook and prepare the basics. And like you say, Lenny, fueling the pump early on in the morning is a good idea to get you through the day. So.
The major thing about this, Ralph, is Big Brother. I'm going to ask Big Brother, has you ever cooked dinner for your mom and dad? Okay, 13 years. I used to get up and fix dinner for my mom and dad because they came home from work between 4 and 7. And I always had something ready for them, all my sisters did, because we knew they had a hard day. So we didn't want them worried about breakfast and dinner because we ate at school. We had a lunch at school. So we wouldn't want to stress them coming home for, getting traffic. We didn't want them worrying about that. So that's kind of how we were raised. So we're trying to get that. You're going to start doing that from now on, right? Now, he's going to tell you a little bit about himself. Go ahead. Now, he's got this look like Tebow. Okay? He looks like a Tim Tebow right now. The 13-year-old. Tell him your own name.
How are you?
Now, with a name like Maverick, he's like ready for the world. His name is Maverick, bro.
His real name is Maverick. Well, that says an awful lot about your parents and their idea of it. They made you into something before you were born. They gave you a mindset of a maverick. One way or the other, if they call you Maverick, you're going to be a maverick. No question about that. Have you decided yet in which way you're going to be a maverick? Maverick, comma, maverick. You don't know?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, think about that because the world needs mavericks to do. A maverick to me is someone who does it their own way.
You remember the movie? Remember that movie, The Maverick?
Well, there was a TV show, Maverick. Bought Maverick were cowboys.
James Gardner.
And it was back in the 50s when there was nothing else on TV but cowboy shows. Gunsmoke, Maverick, Paladin, all these shows depicted the Wild West where everybody was a maverick. So you're off to a good start. But you better throw in learning a little math just to be on the safe side. Maverick?
Yeah.
Okay. What's your favorite sport, Maverick? What do you play?
I do soccer.
Ah, good. What position?
Right wing. or left, little wing.
I don't know much about professional soccer. Is there anybody
You know about
that
Cristiano
you follow?
Ronaldo, right? Cristiano Ronaldo, you heard of him?
I
The
have,
famous,
yes.
You heard of David Beckham?
I have heard those names, yes.
Now, I know you heard of the Spice Girls. Well, he looks like David Beckham, kind of. Got the hair thing going over. Now, I'm going to find out today if he plays half of what David Beckham or Cristiano Ronaldo does. We're going to do some soccer today with him and Ryder.
All right. Lenny, did you play soccer as a kid?
I did everything. I used to get tricked, Ralph, because I finally figured it out. We used to go out on the field, and the coach go, what do you want to do, running today, or do you want to do soccer? And I learned this trick in Italy. And then I said, guys, let's just do our 10 sprints and get out of here. And they go, no, let's go play soccer. So by the time we finished playing soccer, that was like an hour of sprint.
Right.
And I figured out, geez, let's just do
Lenny,
this.
that comes to mind. I asked somebody else this recently. Was there ever a time in your life when you doubted yourself?
Yeah, I doubted the fact that guy's going to throw me a 3-2 curveball. He actually did.
And that was
an American League.
Wow.
That was hello, good morning, good night.
Yeah, that's what I tried to say. Yes, absolutely. Who was that? Do you remember who that pitcher was?
It was, I think it was Vida Blue. And he throws a 95 mile to 100 mile hour fastball. And I would sit on it, just sit, cause, you sit on it. You wait for the breaking ball, but you sit on the curve. You wait for the breaking ball, sit on the curve. And some people say it's the other way around. You sit on the curve and wait for the, So I said, I'm not going to think anymore. I'm just going to hit. Just pick up the ball and whatever.
A baseball expression that says good pitching beats good hitting 80% or 90% of the time. And then there's another expression that says good hitting beats good pitching 90% of the time. What do you say to that? Which one is it?
Well, I think defense overrides all of that. Because people forget, they put too much pressure on the pitchers. I played with Tom Seaver, Matt Lack, Kuzman, Craig Swan, Fergie Jenkins, Jim Bibby, Jackie Brown. I had some of the greatest pitchers ever, Catfish, and we played great defense. Guys would hit us line shots, line drives, and the line drives are, we call them Adam balls. So you got to have a little luck when you're a pitcher, and you got to have a little luck when you're a hitter. Some people don't believe in luck, but you got to have a little tip off the glove, bad hop. Mark Belanger used to say, and so did Rifkin, there are no bad hops in baseball. Well, now with the turf, I believe that. But before the turf, there were some shaky fields in Detroit.
Ask Tony Kubek in the 1960 World Series against Pittsburgh about bad hops. But you mentioned a pitcher named John Matlack. He happens to be, I was a Met fan, still am, my favorite all-time pitcher. Got to meet him in the minors. I was doing tops. He was coaching. I couldn't even talk to him. I was so in awe. What are your memories of him as a teammate?
Listen, I remember such great guys from Guidry to Falcone. I mean, when I'm around them, because we get ready to do some golf, it's like we never left each other. When we do the golf tournaments or the celebrity signing events, they're all great off-the-field personalities. And the field personality is totally different than the off-the-field. I mean, you're a practical joker. I remember he's a practical joker. And people don't look at him like that. How did you look at him? I mean, Matlack, okay, he had the congressman Wall Street-looking face. Good old guy right out of, Ivy League.
Guy that you could rely on when there were two guys on in the seventh inning, and they came out to talk to him, and they couldn't. You didn't take him out of the ball game. That as a fan, that's how I looked at him.
But Torrey would walk out to the mound and go, Joe, why are you here? I'm doing great. Well, you got a problem? So he goes, you think I'm lonely? He would tell jokes. He goes, I'm doing okay, kid. He goes, I got a rhythm going here, Joe. What do you want? He goes, well, I just come out here to simmer you down, just to, get you. Joe, I'm doing fine. How's your wife doing, by the way?
How much
his mind was like,
by Joe?
Pardon?
Yeah. How much?
But Joe was the manager. See, Joe was the manager and Stearns was the catcher, so there was a lot going on with it. You had two catcher mentalities on the mound, right, with a pitcher mentality on the mound, and then you had Buddy Harrelson, and then Felix behind, and Milner or Claypool coming up to the mound. In the National League, everybody could come to the mound. So it was character. It was like stand-up comedy moment. It was stand-up comedy. That's all it was to me. It seemed like they took his mind. They took Matt Luck's mind off the game. Matt Luck took everybody's mind off the game. And then we talked about, were we eating at Mama Leone's, or are we gonna go to Baskin and Robbins? What are we having for dinner tonight? What's the spread?
So
what's the clubby kitchen?
When I ask you how you doing, no stress. Torrey kept the stress out of the moment. Correct? Torrey
to this day was just Mr. Mellow. He was like good demeanor, great mood, little smirky smile. I remember one time he farted on the mound.
Like he messed with. He had that face that he couldn't be messed with.
Yeah. If his eyebrow, Joe's face is if his right eyebrow went up, you're in trouble. If the right eyebrow went up, that means oh shoot, who messed up?
Right.
You don't want to piss Joe off because you don't want to see that sign of it.
In the world, he hit 363 with the Cardinals as a third baseman. As slow as he ran, I'll bet he beat out no infield grounder all year. Once he stopped catching and went to third, his hands were saved, and he could really become a hitter. And if you check out his numbers when he was a third baseman, a first baseman, and what have you, no comparison.
That's why we were in awe of him and respected him, because he had 230 hits, and he didn't have that speed, so we had legitimate hits. He had no bootleg hits. He was a pure hitter, and we respected him for that, because no catcher or no guy's ever done 230 hits, not even Pete Rose in a season.
But did you ever subscribe to the theory that one of those bootleg hits that you described looks pretty good in the box score?
Well, no one knows it but the players. I mean, we've seen the ones where a ball hit off Nettles' chest and it was one hopper, but it's Nettles. We've seen a ball hit off Brooks Robinson and it goes off his knee, but it's Brooks, so it's not an E. It's a oops. It's a hit. It depends on who you hit it to. If a guy's known to have a golden glove, then I'm sorry.
How much of those awards, my good question is, how much of those awards are reputation, are based on their hitting, the defensive awards based on they're a hitter, or, Brooks Robinson won it?
It's based on the name of who it. If Mully McCovey is hitting me a line shot one hopper and it takes off my family, my life, and my teeth, it's a hit. Because no one on the planet would able to get that ball. It's like catching a missile. That's got to be a hit. So if Willie Stargell or Mays or Mike Trout hit a one hopper and you're looking for a bunt and you're playing in and it hits off your nose or your groin or anything on your anatomy, and everybody in the world knows there's no one in the living that would able to get that ball. It's the hat. Ciao. Oh, God. I'm doing the show. Come and be in the show. Yeah, so that's an amazing thing to see the reaction of I remember Richard Nixon running into Julio Cruz and Dave Henderson, and they had a base hit, and Richard Nixon was our official scorer. Go figure. So he runs in the clubhouse. He's one of the guys, and he goes, "Come on, Tricky Dick. That was not a hit. It's a hit." He goes, "No, guys, I got to make this perfectly clear. I want to make this perfectly clear. I could change the score within 24 hours now." What do you think of that? And we go, "Okay." He goes, "Now spit on my shoes, spit tobacco on me, and we'll be fine. And I want to be one of the guys. If I got to do that to be one of the guys, then I'll change it. I got 24 hours to change it." He changed it.
Well,
who's going to argue with the president?
And Nixon and his son compiled a list for a book written by Wolochinsky, the Book of Lists, it was called, and they compiled their own all-star team. His son was Ike's grandson, who married his daughter, and they were incredible baseball fans.
Unbelievable. I first met him in D.C. with Ted Williams. That's how I first met Tricky Dick. And he didn't mind me calling him Tricky Dick because he was from Whittier, and he was a fun-loving, happy-go-lucky guy. He wasn't no politics. This was all just baseball guys loving baseball. We didn't get into the political thing. It didn't matter what
politics and baseball supersedes politics and religion. And
totally.
Yeah.
So we had a great chemistry, and he would bring in the other congressmen, the other vice presidents, and I mean it was like one big ball player's bin. Post game, we go to nice Pat O'Brien's, who was a Washington Redskin, his restaurant, and eat, hang out, and have Kool-Aid, and tea, and beer.
Hey, Lenny, how do you satisfy the competitive edge that a world-class athlete has to have? And now that you're not living life as the athlete, what do you compete with? What or whom do you compete with?
Well, I could take this show, for example. This is a very competitive show. There are 5 shows that I do during the week. I mean, 5 different countries, 31 different countries, and 5 different languages. And then it's a competition to me to give a good show. It's a competition to me to remember and recall moments in sports and history, just like I was at Shea or Wrigley or Citi Field or Texas Park, Arlington Stadium or Seattle Mariners. And it didn't matter if I'm with Bill Gates or I'm with Ralph Tycho or I'm with
Eric
Brandon Paul.
One of those shows you do is with Eric Lenenberg. And,
yeah.
And he's coming on the Comfortably Zoned Radio Network for a podcast show here. So we have a mutual friend there. Lenny, do you have fun doing this? Do you have as much fun as I do?
It's a competitive, energetic, history-making show. The history today, Ralph, is Italy saved America. It beat Hitler in order to make us do the show. You don't even know what I mean by that. What I mean by that, D-Day.
Yeah.
Do you know the history? The January 22nd, the military battalions went in to annihilate Hitler and beat Germany. And we actually had I'm going to send you the pictures to your site so you can see the trophies, the rewards of the families that, 7,581 soldiers died for in that site. I'm going to send it to you because it's their moment. And we're talking about other stuff that's going on in Korea and Japan. A lot of people don't realize we need to reunite and think about the history because we don't want it to repeat itself. Because we can all get along, like Rodney King. Can't we all get along? Can't we all get along? So the Italian people, American Cemetery gravediggers, we're going to go over there, take some kids over, the Mambas Baseball Club, and we're going to reenact that history. We're going to go and visit those sites. We're going to play with those kids that were military soldiers' kids who we now train. Their dads died for us, so now we have the responsibility, I think, of training their kids so they can come to America and play baseball.
I just put 2 and 2 together, how you get the kids through military families. That's very ingenious, by the way.
I have 10 Marine kids right now in our program, and 2 of them just going to get $150,000 jobs. They need jobs after they leave the
these kids
military.
are going to be respectful. They're going to appreciate the discipline that it takes to get better in anything that they do. Wow, Lenny. Whose idea was all of this? Yours, huh?
God, the Pope, and family. I listened to, I had some great mentors, from Willie Mays to Ted Williams said, you got to go back there. You got to go there. Yogi, you got to go to Sicily. You got to, DiMaggio, come with me. And I took him to Japan, Philippines. I mean, I was with some great cultural guys who were military guys who saw the world, didn't just look for baseball for satisfaction. They looked at other people and culture.
Do the United States have bases in Italy?
Oh, yeah, Napoli. I took Craig Nettles, Fergie Jenkins, D'Acquisto, and 10 other guys, Kenny Landreau, Ron LaFleur. And we all went over to Napoli and played baseball and played golf and did a softball game. And we played with the Napoli team. Last year I took a pro team, the Empire League, over to Signaria. They actually stopped during the ISIS incident, and they let us into the base to go meet the capo, the top dog of Signaria in Sicily at the military base. They actually took time out for us to go meet all the soldiers and troops, and we went in there and trained their kids. We actually had a tournament to actually show them the fundamentals of the game, and then we played a game. Now I'm going to go there. I got a university that wants me to do Lenny Randle Academy at Messina University on the Mediterranean Sea. So I'm going to dedicate academy there and have an ongoing relationship with the new league called the Soul League. We're going to turn it into like Puerto Rico of baseball in Italy with 90 degrees all year round, and that'll be our base for our players to go have summer league. We're taking a couple of Padres that I just met 3-4 days ago, and they're going to go over. Rob Brantley, starting catcher with the Padres, is going over, and we're going to take the shortstop and second base and the pitcher, 3 at a time, major leaguers. They go over, and Trout's going to come over, Joe Madden's going to come over, and it's going to be a big thing. It's going to be a very, we'll have it on the show, we'll have interviews, I'll call you when we're there so that they can say, Bella, Bella, Pasta, Bella, Bella, Vatican City.
Hey, just get me Felix before I die. Get me the cat.
Felix me out.
Yeah.
You want him right now?
Yeah.
Let me see if he'll pick up. Hold on. Yeah, I think he might be able to.
To live forever. You never know. This is a good time.
Let me see if he's
We're all day to day, Lenny.
All right. We have they're having a fantasy camp right now. The Mets fantasy camp. Let me see if he's still there.
All right. We are waiting for Lenny Randle to connect with Felix Mion on the Comfortably Zoned Radio Network. I'm Ralph Tycho, putting my radio voice on. Well, I don't have a radio voice, but I do have a face for radio. Lenny, are you still on, Lenny? I may have lost Lenny. Okay. I'm going to pause it out, take a little break. We'll be back with Lenny Randle, either with Felix Mion or another time. We could have a theme. Felix, come to the zone. All right. Adios. We'll be back. Pausing it or saying adios for the day. One never knows. Back with Lenny Randle, sans Felix Mion. How are you, Lenny?
I got a substitute. Felix is eating donuts, but I got the owner of Dunkin' Donuts. He's going to tell you who he is. Chakaruzzi, folks.
Is this the
He's
owner of
open
Dunkin' Donuts worldwide, or this is the franchise in the strip mall that you're taking your kids to for nourishment?
let me kind of give it to you like this. We met about 10 years ago at a Little League thing or something, and I picked him up in a limo, him and his wife, and he told me one day he was going to open up a Dunkin' Donuts. And I went, okay, yeah, right, like, oh, yeah, right, because they're only in the East Coast. And then he actually, tell him who you are.
Hi, my name is Mike Stout. I've known Lenny, like you said, for about 10 years, and I've been telling him I've been working on a project, and we ended up securing the rights to open 20 stores in Southern California. So Lenny and the kids come in and enjoy donuts, and at this location in Wildemar off on Clinton Keith Road here, we've actually got a Baskin Robbins too. So 2 of my stores have ice cream or donuts, so you can get a treat all day long.
So you've got 22 store franchises?
No. We've got potential. Three, building 4, 5 and 6 are in the city, and then we're gonna grow to 20.
Good in itself. And if you have dreams for 20, congratulations, my friend. Nice to meet you on the Comfortably Zoned Radio Network.
Well, thank you. Great to be here. And, like they say, the world is your donut.
You met Lenny about 10 years ago. How did you guys meet originally? What's your first recollection?
I was managing a restaurant, and Lenny came in and was dining with friends and family, and he had a lot of people with him, as he always does. And he came back later. We helped him with an event he was doing and hosting for the kids, and he saw we were working hard during the holidays, so he goes, you know what, I'm going to come back by after close and pick you up. And he brought this stretch limo, picked my wife up, and myself and my wife gave it the ride down through Old Town Temecula and enjoyed the Christmas lights. We had just opened this restaurant, a different concept, and so it was a great little break, and Lenny and I became friends after that.
Were you a baseball fan before you met Lenny?
You know what? I'm a baseball fan. I'm from the Chicago area, so I grew up in the Chicago Cubs days of Rick Sutcliffe and Sandberg. Yeah.
Yeah.
My other teammate.
Cool. Did you follow Lenny when he played with the Cubs?
You know what? I remember Lenny. Fortunately, opening all these restaurants kind of takes you away from being too in tune with the sports at times. But yes,
see, that was
Lenny.
The wrong answer. You should have said. I remember Lenny. Lenny was the Flash. He was.
Mike's also a comedian. Mike's also a comedian sideline.
Mike, we both did a little comedy in our day, it seems. And,
yes, we do.
All right. And again, I joke, but 3 or 4 franchises, awesome responsibility. And Lenny was talking about something to reduce stress. And he mentioned driving. He wanted to keep his parents from having stress on the roads. Guess what? That's where most of the stress takes place in this world. And if you could take your employees and get them some sort of driver's ed to prepare them how to come to the road refreshed and this, that, and the other thing, and not take their party to the road, and keep concentrating and not be distracted, and keep your car in shape. It'll serve you, because driving is very precarious in today's world, and a lot of bad stuff happens on the roads. I'm just babbling away, my friend. That's what happens sometimes on podcast radio. Comfortably Zoned Radio Network, Lenny Randle's Hot Corner. So what's next for you? How do you go from 3 or 4 franchises to what your goal is, like 20? What are you doing on a regular basis to work towards that?
Well, it's all about the people and surrounding yourself with a good team. That's what they teach in sports, and it's all about building a foundation, having good bench, being able to grow the next store and expand, rely on the team to help you open those stores, and then just repeat, and rehire your people every day, make them feel good about what they do. Every job's important, and no job's too good for anyone.
Excuse my ignorance on this, but if you've got 4 stores and you're going to open a 5th, do you leverage what you have going now? And if so, if you make a mistake and that 5th store doesn't work out, can that make everything come tumbling down?
Oh, absolutely. The first few stores are they're all important, but you can't slip. You got to pick great stores, great sites, and run them well. So yeah, you can't mess up the first store.
Okay, now let me just ask you this: do the pickings become slim on what are great sites and what have you? And how do you avoid going through the process without compromising your instincts?
I think somebody, good friend of mine told me, never fall in love with real estate and always believe your pro forma and don't wish sales upon a store. So I think you have to just pick great sites, great locations, and be patient, pick your pitch, and nail it when it comes across the plate,
Yeah, interesting how baseball in particular transcends business and what have you. The expressions and the attitude about it, and yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah.
What you got planned for the rest of the day? I'm just going to ask you that. How does a guy like you go? I'm sure you're not behind the counter or baking up some goods or whatever. How do you go through? Do you go from franchise to franchise? Do you talk to your managers? Do you keep in touch? What's it like for you?
You know what? A little bit of all of that. Being behind the counter and in front of the counter, talking to people, talking to our guests, talking to the crew, seeing what's working, what's not, with our staffing plan, promotions, making sure, following up with people's development, making sure that they're getting what they need, sitting down with them, mentoring and coaching, performances that you see, letting people know when they do a great job, and also letting them know when we need to improve in an area, and then letting them know when you notice that improvement. So,
okay.
Yeah, so we stay busy.
I have a philosophy in life that the world's biggest problem is the rift between the workers and management, be it baseball, be it whatever it is. You seem to have the voice that says you're getting along, you're getting through it. What do you attribute the fact that you're able to communicate with your workers? And I'll bet they're pretty happy. You're not at odds with them. And that's atypical of the worker management type relationship that I've found just living in the world. I see it on an everyday basis. What are you doing?
Yeah, I think I've been doing this for a long time. Is just keeping people involved, asking their opinions. I think you're crazy if you think you have all the best ideas. Sometimes many of the best ideas come from people that are working the lines in the trenches, and also getting in the trenches with them. Like, I'm not opposed to getting down and making donuts for an hour and a half and understanding what's going on, and serving a cup of coffee, Dunkin' Brew, and I think it's just communication. And the more people are involved, the more they care. And the more they care, the better they take care of your guests, and you grow your business.
How is your relationship with the Dunkin' Donuts people as a franchisee?
Dunkin' is a great marketing brand, and they've got good support, and they're there for you, especially in your first store, second store. They're there to show you the way and help you understand. They've got good training facilities to bring you up to speed. I think the franchisees have a good relationship. There's always opportunity and room for negotiation and compromise on both sides when you have a franchise or a franchisee relationship. But I'll say that they've been a good partner.
Do they take advice or maybe not advice, but do they take heed to what a franchisee says to put them in touch with what's going on, or are they rigid in their ways?
You know what? In today's market, you've got to be more flexible, and I think Dunkin's done that. The brand has done a good job hearing us out. We have regular meetings and calls, visits, whether it's to Canton or if it's them coming out to our stores. It's a good relationship. They're open to hearing what's going on and trying to make a difference.
Do you meet with other franchisees with in other lines of business, say the McDonald's guy? Do you guys all meet at a Rotary Club or what have you?
We do. I know some of the folks in town and in the county, and we often talk and share. We don't share sales figures and things like that, but
which of those people work for companies that aren't as enlightened as Dunkin' Donuts, just from hearsay, just from what it is, what's happening, that sort of thing? From what do you hear, what do you say? Which are the major companies that could use a little bit of maybe a hug, a sit down?
Yeah, I think I think there's certain industries or segments of the restaurant industry that struggle more than others, just because of the saturation. Coffee is getting pretty saturated, as well as the burger restaurants, fast casual. So I think when it comes down to it, the companies that aren't listening to their franchisees or their corporations, their store managers, I think those are the ones that are going to struggle more. Out in California, you got minimum wage rising, you've got a lot of headwinds, and you've just got to be really cautious with your plan. And as you've probably seen on television, there's a lot of value offerings right now, in spite of minimum wage just going to $11 in California. So the answer, I'm kind of beating around the bush on that question because I can't really speak to the franchisees and tell you which. I don't know the insides of all the different companies, so I'd hate to throw somebody under the bus, but just look in the news and see who's closing stores. That's who I would say. Excuse me. That's who I would say is struggling.
Okay. They don't have to necessarily be struggling to be unenlightened managers or bosses or whatever, unfortunately.
True. Very true.
So
I got a great idea, Ralph.
Pardon me?
We're going to go live with this show. Are we eating Slam Dunkin' Donuts? We're going to go live, so I'm going to have him back on.
All over I'm live with this.
Yeah, so I'm going to take film, video of this, and so you can make and know what kind of locations that, and the other side I'll go there as well. And then some kind of way we'll satellite you here.
Lenny's just giving us the hook. That's all there is to it. Would you make sure that you come back and join us a different time?
Oh, absolutely. It's been great chatting with you.
I enjoy your company.
Right.
Would you chat that? Lenny or Mike, would you jot down comfortablyzonedradio.com? And
Ralph, I'm going to do more than that. I'm going to get my taggers and my graffiti guys to spray it all over his building. Okay, I'm gonna go buy. I'm gonna go to what's the zone, auto zone, and get some spray.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna spray his building completely.
Yeah.
Now you happy now?
not totally. You have to get Ralph Zig Tycho's name in there somehow too.
But you're responsible. You just threatened me to do this, so I'm blaming you.
I'm irresponsible, not responsible. I'm irresponsible for everything that happens.
Okay, God bless. I'm mentally challenged.
Enjoy your company.
All right, I'm gonna take a quick selfie and send it to you. All right, he's got to get a call.
I hope you do.
All right, hold on.
Thanks a lot, guys.
I'm gonna hang up, take the selfie, and send it to you. Got it?
I'm waiting. Now that I have it in order, you got to hang up first.
Oh my
Thanks,
God!
everybody,
No, I'm
for
checking.
listening.
No, I got this. I know how to do this stuff. I know I'm challenged, but I'm not that challenged.
Next time, Mike, I would enjoy, because Mike speaks English. Felix doesn't. I don't speak Spanish, but there's a special connect from being a Met fan. Get me Felix.
Wait a minute, he's a Cub fan. Let's get it straight. I'm gonna do a Cub uniform next time I'm out here. I'm going go Cubs. All right, got that? Cubs. All right. Take care. So,
rest in peace.
Look at your phone. You got the shot. All right, Ralph.
All right.
Ciao.
Arrivederci. Thanks a lot.
God bless you.
Okay. Anybody listening to this out there, I wish you'd do me a biggie and box up some lightly used children's books and take them to the Head Start program in whatever community you reside. Kids need to read. They need.
That's for the guy. Here, put that with that.
Oh, you're still there, Lenny. I didn't know that. But I'm telling folks to box up books and take them to the Head Start program. And school ready, they will develop a passion, and we got to help the future by taking care of our children. Be well, everybody. See you next time. Adios.
Adios.